Alright guys, we about to check out all 12 Demon Moons and Demon Slayers explained. It was a request. Let me see if I can find it real quick. It got requested by Sentinel Legend. He said, can you react to all Demon Slayer Upper Moons explained? And he told me to react to this specific video, the Jaegerist vid. So we're going to check it out. If I like, comment, subscribe, trying to 25k across the board. If you're a Demon Slayer fan, we are playing the game on the other channel. You know what I'm saying? We just dropped a few videos. I got 3 more dropping soon. I'm going to play some other games as well. Waiting for Gidro to drop. That's one of my main favorite demons besides Akaza. But let's check it out, man. Let's see if the Jaegerist has some information for me that I didn't know already. Why did he tell me to watch the Jaegerist instead of Anime Uproar? Let's see.
We'll be explaining all Demon Moons in Demon Slayer.
Okay.
We'll talk about their previous lives as humans, as well as the events of their new lives as
Bet.
members of 12 Kizuki. We'll start with the former lower rank 6.
I'm going to say spoiler alert for the people who haven't watched anything in Demon Slayer yet. There's probably going to be spoilers in here. So if you haven't seen it, click off, come back when you have.
Kyogai. But in the later part
I actually
of the
like
video, we'll
Kyogai
be covering much stronger
as a demon.
and more interesting demons. Kyogai, also
His
known as
backstory
Drum
was
Demon, is
bad.
the
It wasn't
primary
bad.
antagonist
It
in
was
the
sad.
Shizumi Mansion
But he was a
arc.
cool.
He was
a cool
demon
character.
formerly affiliated with the 12 Kizuki's lower ranks, having held the position of lower rank 6. While he was still a member of the 12 Kizuki, Kyogai slowly lost the ability to eat humans. He was visited by Muzan Kibutsuji, who removed his number due to the drum demon having reached his limit.
Damn.
Because of this, Kyogai obsessively began his quest to rejoin the organization. At some
Okay.
point, Kyogai captured Kiyoshi,
I didn't
due to
know
him
that.
possessing rare blood, and took him to the drum house. Before he could eat him, he was attacked by 2 other demons who were also after Kiyoshi's rare blood, suffering an injury that dislodged the drum from his back. He passed by the room Tanjiro and Teruku were in, annoyed by the presence of all the intruders in his territory, slapping the drum on his right shoulder when the former attempted to attack him, which changed the orientation of the room. With the arrival of Inosuke, the drum demon struck his right
Inosuke, Commander Jaegerist.
shoulder again. As Tanjiro and Inosuke quarreled, Kyogai struck the drum on his stomach twice, each time launching a slashing claw.
Unless I'm saying it
he
wrong.
then struck his shoulder drum multiple times, sending his adversaries flying in a disorganized mess.
Bro,
As he
mosquito
stepped
bit
in
me
the
on my
direction of
arm,
Inosuke,
bro.
He, along with everyone else, were transported into different
Just
rooms.
itchy.
He happened upon Tanjiro in the course of his wandering, striking a drum to flip the room upside down, striking another to initiate
Nah, that's a
his
hard
claw
ability,
attack,
though.
along with the
I love the
others
concept.
to disorient.
He just happened to be weak and not a main character.
Memories from the
You can't do
past
nothing about that.
caused Kyogai to snap and initiated his rapid drumming technique and sparking a maelstrom of effects. Tanjiro evaded a collection of manuscripts that fell from a shelf on the ceiling, which surprised the former Kizuki. Despite his continued slash attacks and orientation changes,
As a main character, Tanjiro is a real one. I'm not gonna lie, because he makes the effort to be nice even to demons, because he understands the position that they're in. Even when they're trying to kill him, he understands like being a demon isn't like something that you choose to do all the time, because some demons actually did want to become demons. But like with his sister being a demon, he understands. Like he has sympathy for someone.
Close on him by using a certain water breathing technique. The former Kizuki was further surprised when Tanjiro complimented his blood demon art before decapitating him. He asked the youth if he really thought his techniques were powerful, which was confirmed, but he was told that eating humans was unforgivable. Fading into oblivion, Kyogai reflected on how Tanjiro had seen the value in all of his work, tears running down his face. Next demon moon on our list is Rui.
This was
Rui
sad too.
was a former lower rank 5.
But I hate that
member
man in
of the
Demon Slayer.
Spider
It's
family
annoying to
that
fight
he
him.
created, who lived at Natagumo Mountain.
It's not
Many
as bad
years
as
ago,
Enmu, though.
Rui was born
But he
with
looked
a
so
weak,
cool as a
frail,
kid.
and easily stressed human body that even the very act of walking and breathing was difficult for him to do, causing him to spend a majority of his life trapped within his home, being cared for by his mother and father, who despite his frailty, deeply loved and cherished him. One night, Rui was approached by Muzan Kibutsuji, who then offered to save him and transform him into a demon. Now possessing a strong body, Rui was finally able to move freely for the first time, bringing joy and happiness to his parents. However, this did not last. As he was now a demon, Rui needed to obtain sustenance by eating humans, which then caused him to kill a man inside his home. His parents then tried to kill him, but Rui killed them both instead in self-defense.
And I'm pretty sure that they're gonna kill him and then kill themselves to live together happily with him.
Due to repressing his painful memories as a human, Rui requested to Muzan if he could create a family for himself. The latter then allowed him, and he began to gather suitable family members who would each take the role of his new parents and siblings. He then created the so-called Spider family.
Sick.
During a Natagumo Mountain arc, Rui engages in battle with Tanjiro. When Tanjiro attempted to strike aside a thread with his water breathing,
broke his phone.
sword
Sword.
breaks the moment it makes contact with the thread. Rui continues with a patient assault, striking with his threads, which Tanjiro continues to dodge.
Episode 19 was something else,
bro. A large
bro.
web descends on Tanjiro, unable to dodge or block the strike. He is protected by Nezuko. While Tanjiro tends to Nezuko's injuries, the spider demon
Nezuko. Is it Nezuko or Nezuko? I actually want to know now.
sister speaks.
I want to make sure I'm saying it right.
Nezuko emerged from her box to protect Tanjiro. Despite being a demon, Rui takes interest in Nezuko and demands that Tanjiro hand her over to him. Tanjiro refuses, but Rui grabs Nezuko anyway. Tanjiro uses his total concentration, water breathing, to cut Rui's threads, something he had been unable to do up to that point. Due to a potential threat, Rui unleashes his blood demon art. In a moment of desperation and near death, Tanjiro, for the first time ever in battle, uses the Hinokami Kagura and is able to slice through Rui's reinforced threads.
You said Hinokami Kagura pretty well,
Tanjiro
so I'm
presses the
assuming
attack
he's saying everything
to
else
get
right,
the upper
probably.
hand against Rui, awakening Nezuko.
I'm still
helps her
saying how
brother,
I say it, though.
unlocking and using her blood demon art, both burning Rui, his threads, and enhancing Tanjiro's sword
your neck,
to the point he is able to behead Rui. Rui reveals himself to be alive, having beheaded himself to avoid Tanjiro's sword. As Rui uses his blood demon art, Murderous Eye Basket, Giyu arrives and destroys the technique. Water Hashira soon with ease decapitates Lower Moon.
Yep.
Since Muzan killed all of the remaining lower ranks, leaving only Enmu alive, we will jump straight to Enmu. Stay tuned because in a few minutes, we'll start explaining much more interesting Upper Moon demons. Enmu knew that he had been converted due to Muzan's will.
I like Enmu. I love the concept of Enmu. I love his hand tats. I love the mouth. I love the sleeping concept. Everything about him. He's drippy. He got the tailor coat, the tail coat on.
Did his best to ascend
swag,
to the position
purple and blue
of
dye.
rank 1.
Enmu's
After
hard.
being the last remaining lower
Weird,
Moon alive, when
but
asked for
hard.
his final words, Enmu expresses joy at Muzan, killing him personally and for the suffering of humans and his fellow ranks, thanking his leader for leaving him until last. Muzan then changes his mind as he glances at him. Enmu was then stabbed by a needle-like appendage in the neck and given a generous amount of Muzan's blood, with Muzan telling him to be useful to him by killing the Demon Slayer Corps' Hashira. Muzan promises that if he kills the Demon Slayer with Hanafuda earrings, Tanjiro Kamado, Enmu will get even more blood. Enmu then devises a plan to put all Demon Slayers and
he's so annoying to play in Demon Slayer. So annoying.
Later, he stands upon the
It's fun to play with. Like, if I play him, I'm having a great time. Against him, okay.
Remarking
I'll
that
pass.
dying
You
while
got the whole
dreaming
round.
is a blessing. One of Enmu's hands speaks with the train's conductor about the success of putting the Demon Slayers to sleep and do the same to him. Shortly after, he turns as Tanjiro approaches him, greeting him.
The dream that he had for Tanjiro was so good.
But could have made it a nightmare. After
Tanjiro
and Inosuke's joint effort, they managed to discover Enmu's head and subsequently behead him by completely cutting off the train's top engine compartment. Enmu, in complete disbelief at his failure, begins to curse all the Demon Slayers and the upper ranks due to being inferior to them in power. As his body slowly disintegrates, he attempts to at least kill the weakened Tanjiro and Inosuke, but only failed once more as his body began to crumble faster. Now, the part you've all been waiting for. Let's start explaining Upper Moon demons. There's a total of 9 upper rank demons, so we'll start with the number 9, Kaigaku. Kaigaku was a former demon slayer and Zenitsu's senior disciple under the former Thunder Hashira.
His name was Kaigaku. Kaigaku. I'll say it like that.
Jigoro Kuwajima,
He's a lightning
Kaigaku
user.
was an orphan and a thief who had to eat scraps and steal to survive. He was one of the orphans Gyome Himejima cared for at his temple. After he was caught by the other children for stealing temple money, he was chased out at night and encountered a demon, which he then led into the temple in exchange for having his life spared. Kaigaku developed the belief that strength and survival were the only things worth respecting and was willing to grovel and beg for his life if that's what it took to survive. Eventually, he was taken in by Jigoro along with Zenitsu. Learning thunder breathing, he became determined to become Jigoro's successor and the new Thunder Hashira. Jigoro, however, insisted that both he and Zenitsu would become his successors, despite Zenitsu's weakness and timid nature. During the Hashira training arc, Zenitsu receives word that Kaigaku had
he killed himself. Wow.
become a demon, and that Jigoro committed seppuku as atonement. Kaigaku had
That's
the
crazy.
unfortunate luck
Become a demon, feel more power, and if it accepts you, will be your ally.
of encountering Kokushibo.
If that
and
man
upon
accepts.
witnessing
Okay,
the
moves
latter's
on.
immense power, kneeled before him
As long as I'm alive, I can win one day. I'll show them all. That's how I lived
and begged
my
to
life
become
up to
a
this
demon.
point.
As a demon, Kaigaku had eaten many people and became powerful enough to become the new upper rank 6 of the 12 Kuzuki.
Crazy.
Inside the Infinity Castle, he encounters
Thunder, second form, lightning
Zenitsu,
ball.
and the two engage in combat. He's ultimately beheaded by Zenitsu's thunder breathing.
That's tough.
Kagaku mockingly comments that their master did favor Zenitsu more for teaching him that form, until Zenitsu admits that the technique
This is my form, a form I came up with myself. I wanted to fight alongside you using this one day. Damn.
was his own making in order to fight alongside Kagaku as equals. Kagaku notes that Zenitsu was going to die from severe exhaustion, only for him to be saved by Yushiro in the last seconds. Kagaku's head screams in anger.
Those who don't give others will never receive anything back to them, just like those who desire will end up with nothing because you can't create anything.
As he disintegrates.
Damn. Talk your shit.
8. Daki. Daki is the secondary holder
Daki
of the
was
position
so
of
cool.
upper rank 6.
She was cool. I'm not even gonna lie. She was cool. Her ability was But she was a cool character though.
Her older brother, Gyutaro. She is one of the primary antagonists in the Entertainment District arc.
Yep.
Daki was born many years ago with the birth name
Look at
of
her brother.
Ume in the Entertainment District's area.
Her brother was way
birth
cooler
mother
though.
was a prostitute there, having given birth to her elder brother a few years before. When Ume was born, their mother hated her due to her hair color and eyes and would try to kill her. Ume was primarily raised by her elder brother until her early teen years when her mother passed away from the disease known as Ume, the same sickness she was then named after.
Yep.
Growing up, she was very beautiful. In her early teen years, she was finally chosen to work in one of the Entertainment District's high-class brothels. Ume began making a fortune by attracting many suitors
burned her
and
up real
customers
quick
to the brothel due to her beauty. At the same time, her elder brother began working as her collector and would collect money and debts owed to the brothel.
Yep.
However, this all came to an end when Ume poked out the eye of a samurai, a customer of hers, when he insulted her brother while her brother was away collecting debts. In retaliation to this, she was tied, burned alive, and left to die in a ditch.
Yep.
She was then discovered by her brother, who killed both samurai and the manager of the brothel. He carried her around town searching for help, but no one would help them.
Crazy.
As Gyutaro collapsed from exhaustion and fatigue from his severe wounds, Doma, who was upper rank 6 at the time, happened to notice the siblings while wandering the district in search of beautiful girls to devour. Taking pity on them, he offered to help the pair by turning them into demons, claiming that it was because he was a nice guy. He then challenged them to become strong enough to be chosen by Muzan Kibutsuji and join the 12 Kizuki alongside himself. The activities of both her and her brother eventually caught the attention of Muzan, who acknowledged their strength and power and officially allowed them to join the 12 Kizuki, and both were given the rank of upper rank 6.
Swag.
After she encounters Zenitsu, she was dressed as one of the girls. The Daki pondered over Zenitsu's identity, noting he might be a demon slayer. She later appeared behind Koinatsu, seeking to eat her before she left to be married, but was stopped by Tanjiro. Dismissing the youth for his weakness, Daki soon grew enraged when he demanded she releases Koinatsu and attack the demon slayer with her sashes. After she engages with Tanjiro, Daki was shocked when Tanjiro cut through her sashes with the Hinokami Kagura technique.
Yeah, you better start playing.
She overpowers Tanjiro, and Nezuko jumps in and saves him. After Tengen Uzui, Sound Hashira finally appeared. He slashed her head off in an instant, telling her that she's not strong enough to be upper rank 6.
Crazy. Tengen came in there in like 2 seconds and ended the fight immediately.
Number 7. Gyutaro.
Gyutaro. Jit might be my favorite demon. I thought it was Akaza because Akaza was cold too. Akaza had a cool backstory, cold. But I saw Gyutaro because I didn't read the manga for Demon Slayer. I only read the manga for like My Hero. But like when Demon Slayer came out, I was like, I'm gonna enjoy this fully by itself. I didn't know what he looked like. I was like, yo, this might be my favorite demon. Might be my favorite demon.
Her sister Daki called out for him. Gyutaro emerged from her body.
He is so
taking
cold.
Her to another part of the room and reattaching
like
his severed
Kukushibo's
head.
cold,
Tengen
all the other ones are
attacked the
cold,
pair,
but Gyutaro
Gyutaro quickly countered it, injuring the Hashira. The mysterious demon unleashed his blood demon art, flying blood sickles, a barrage of blood blades that failed to injure Tengen. During his battle with Sound Hashira, Gyutaro was surprised by Hashira's sword skills. Gyutaro barely deflected one of the attacks, but was left with a slight wound to his neck. He warned Tengen of his impending death, only to be surprised by the arrival of Inosuke and Zenitsu. The mysterious demon reiterated his death threat, believing the arrival of the Hashira's subordinates to be insufficient. He also mentioned how he and his sister had eaten numerous Hashiras, 15 and 7 respectively. Gyutaro closed one of his eyes and quickly attacked Tanjiro. He nearly struck a blow to the youth's neck, but was thwarted by Tengen at the last second. causing him to only stab him in the chin mere inches away.
Hold on, let me upload on IG real quick. It's time for me to upload. You know what I'm saying? Check me out on IG. Like, comment, subscribe. 25K across the board. You know the vibes. You feel me? Upload all the time on there. Join the club. I got mad pictures and mad posts. Stop playing with me. Finish uploading. Went to get a water bottle. This, that, and the third. Made my story real. Check me out on Instagram, bro. Check 25K on Instagram too. Like, it's not just YouTube. I'm gonna be consistent on every aspect. Like this channel, the next channel, and my Instagram being consistent on. So check me out on Instagram. Let me know if y'all like on my Instagram. I be dropping content on there too.
Proceeded to exchange a flurry of blows with his opponent. Gyutaro manages to poison Hashira, wounding him severely.
Yep,
but
taking his arm off.
Had enough strength left to help Tanjiro defeat the demon, cutting his head off, while Zenitsu and Inosuke defeated his sister at the same time. As their heads began to disintegrate, Daki screamed at her brother, blaming him for their defeat, while Gyutaro retaliated that Daki was weak and had nothing to help.
Yep.
Saddened by the siblings' bickering,
no cap. If Gyutaro was by himself, or if he had hit Daki away before fighting, he wouldn't have lost, because he wouldn't be able to die.
Then stepped in, covering Gyutaro's mouth to stop him from screaming abuse at his sister and pleading with them to try and get along, as they only had each other left in the world. Number 6. Gyoko. Gyoko is a demon affiliated with the 12 Kizuki.
Gyoko.
Holding the position of upper rank 5. Gyoko lived on the outskirts of a fishing village near the coast and was disliked for repeatedly collecting fish carcasses and doing other strange things.
I was gonna say he looks like a fish.
Afterward, Gyoko killed a village child who came to tease him and stuffed the body in a jar.
Damn.
In a rage, the child's parents stabbed Gyoko with a 2-pronged fishing fork. He was left to die there, and Muzan Kibutsuji was passing by, so he turned Gyoko into a demon. At the swordsmith's village, Gyoko devoured an unsuspecting villager and spat him right back out, stating that it wasn't edible. He then noted that destroying the swordsmith's village would severely weaken the demon slayers. When Muichiro and the 2 villagers came upon the shed looking for a new sword, Gyoko ambushes them from a ceramic pot. Once attacked by Muichiro, he retreats inside his ceramic pot and reveals he can transport himself from pot to pot at will. He explains that the pots
That's a crazy ability.
Are his pride and artwork, and becomes very upset when they're damaged. He then summons many fish from a pot and uses his blood demon art to attack Muichiro. He traps Muichiro with his blood demon art, water prison pot, commenting that death by suffocation is stylish and beautiful.
But I mean, he is a mist Hashira, right?
While
That's something to do with water.
Struggles to escape the water prison, Gyoko advanced upon the shed. He enters and sees Hotaro working.
Sick of all the ads like this one? Just had to add
on the blade extracted from the training doll. Hotaro doesn't notice Gyoko's entrance behind him, enraging Gyoko at the prospect of
He makes me angry. I've never been able to concentrate that hard before. I cannot lose
another artist more concentrated on his craft than he. He summons a fish to attack Hotaro, breaking the swordsman's mask, but not his concentration.
Look at how cool he looks. Hezunozuka. I can't say it right.
Hotaru's dedication to the blade incentivizes Gyoko.
The reason why he didn't crave his name on the blade this marvelous is because of the one character is his own sole purpose for making it. The blade was forged with nothing but
to
that
force
in mind.
him to.
He pissed me off. I mean, I could kill him and that would make him stop. But I really want to make this man abandon I really want to make this man abandon his blade. This blade. I want to kill his concentration.
Break his concentration rather than straight up murdering him.
Crazy.
Muichiro escapes from the water prison with the help from Kutetsu, surprising Gyoko and causing him to unleash Octopus Vase Hell. Muichiro's mist breathing nicks Gyoko, and he ducks back into his pot, reappearing in a different.
I am the apex of beauty. You just can't understand elegance because you are undereducated bumpkin. You're like a fly or a cockroach that can't even read when.
He argues with Muichiro.
It sounds like you live in a camera pod. Shut it, roach. A stubby midget like you can't even reach my neck. Well, I did just a while ago, and you're the stubborn one. Oh wait, were you muttering to yourself just now?
About the beauty of his pots, becoming enraged after an insult to their balance, and unleashes his blood demon art. After Muichiro deflects 2 of his attacks, Gyoko reveals his true form and becomes more serious about killing him.
That's fire. So, I mean, this is the season that's coming
Gyoko's
up next
form
this
has
month.
The ability
So
to turn anything he punches into fish.
This anime is gonna be fire for sure.
Muichiro uses the mist-breathing 7th form to decapitate Gyoko, killing him.
Damn.
Much to his disbelief.
Farewell.
Number 5,
you probably won't ever
Hantengu.
be able to live in this world again.
As a
Now this guy looks cool.
human, Hantengu was
Upper Moon 4.
known to have committed many heinous crimes, stealing from numerous innocent people and murdering them in various towns
Why he look like that?
and cities. all while claiming that he was innocent and it wasn't him that committed these crimes. He blamed that his hands were solely to blame for his actions.
Crazy.
Eventually, he was captured by a high-ranked law official, magistrate, and sentenced to death by decapitation, despite his outrageous claims of innocence that were then silenced by threatening to cut off his sinful hands instead. While imprisoned and awaiting his execution,
So you're getting decapitated tomorrow.
he
Let
was
me help
approached
you.
by Muzan Kibutsuji,
Okay.
who offered to help him after taking pity on his situation. At the swordsmith's village, Hantengu crawled on the roof of a building.
Why does he
eager
look
to
like
fulfill
that?
their mission to avoid Muzan's wrath. He encountered Tanjiro and Muichiro, swiftly avoiding an attack from the latter. He dodged a follow-up attack from Tanjiro, only to be kicked by Nezuko. His head was then severed by another attack from Muichiro,
Damn.
causing him to regenerate into two different demons, Sekido and
What?
Karaku. As Muichiro and Tanjiro attempted to attack these newcomers, Karaku blew Muichiro far into the distance
Dang.
with a single wave of his Uchiwa fan. The two then confronted Tanjiro and Nezuko, briefly exchanging biting comments at each other, with Sekido then attacking Tanjiro with a burst of electricity from his
So they cut his head and he became two different demons.
staff. The two failed to notice Genya approaching them from behind with a gun. Genya's shot was hit, decapitating Sekido, but failing to do the same for Karaku,
Wow.
much to the latter's amusement. The young demon slayer finished the job with his sword, but the two then turned into four.
Oh, so whenever you cut their heads, they multiply. Okay.
One of the new demons, reminiscent of a Tengu, grabbed Tanjiro by the leg
That's
and
cool.
flew off with him, while the other impaled Genya. The former congratulated Tanjiro
This one can fly, so they have
on figuring out their strategy, while the latter commented on Genya's weakness.
So how does it work? How do you kill them if they multiply every time you cut off their head?
Tanjiro urged Nezuko to help Genya, prompting his abductor to reprimand him for this, before firing a concussive blast of sound at the demon slayer.
Wow.
In the end, Tanjiro manages to behead him using Hinokami
Wall
Kagura,
flash?
flame dance. However, the head Tanjiro just cut was not the real Hantengu, proven as the headless body of Hantengu continues to run away. As the sun is about to rise, Tanjiro finally decides to continue in pursuit. He eventually locates Hantengu's real body inside of headless Hantengu's heart. Hantengu finally dies after having his torso slashed by Tanjiro. However, Hantengu managed to inform Muzan about Nezuko's immunity to the sunlight beforehand. Number 4.
That's crazy.
Nakime. After Hantengu's death,
Number 4. That's the lady that's inside the house. So she has to be like that to be upper 4? Okay.
Nakime became the new upper rank 4 of the 12 Kizuki. When the Demon Slayer Corps arrived at the Ubuyashiki mansion to
No, these upcoming Demon Slayer games are gonna be fire. CC2. You know what I'm saying? I'm be making content. Y'all might as well bless me with the other copy of the game. That's all I'm saying. I'm gonna be making Demon Slayer content, so you might as well. You know what I'm saying? Mess with your boy. Mess with your boy. I'm
try
here.
and stop
I'm here.
Muzan, they are all transported into the Infinity Castle and separated from one another by Nakime. Obanai and Mitsuri are the first to encounter her, but find it extremely difficult to land blows on her due to her control over the environment. Later, during the beginning of Tanjiro and Gyu's fight
But
with
how does she fight back?
Then, the latter reveals that Nakime has successfully defeated both Obanai and Mitsuri by
Damn.
crushing them both to death using the rooms of her castle. However, he is
Oh.
taken by surprise when the supposedly dead duo launch a surprise attack on him, still very much alive, and angrily asks Nakime what she's doing. Muzan is shocked upon learning that Yushido has completely taken control of Nakime's vision, and with it, the Infinity Castle,
Right now, I'm going to erase your face from
which
this
he begins
earth.
to use against the Demon Lord as revenge for his killing of Tamayo. Muzan
He killed Tamayo. Aww.
immediately begins countering Yushido, using his own mental powers in order to take back his final upper rank, which kicks off a fierce battle of wills between the two demons. This mental fight causes the castle to completely spiral out of control, as both wrestle for dominance, and just as Muzan appears to have taken the upper hand, Obanai and Gyu launch an attack on the
Breath of water, striking tide. Breath of snake, first form, twisting snake.
Demon Lord.
Slice.
He has no choice but to counter, which causes his hold on Nakime to slip as he tries to defend himself and ward the Hashiras off with his own attacks.
Okay.
Soon realizing that he can't take back Nakime and fight the Demon Slayers at the same time, Muzan uses his powers to kill his final upper rank by crushing her head, which prevents Yushido from using the castle against him and allows him to fully focus on killing the remaining Hashiras.
Yo.
Number 3. Akaza. Akaza is a demon affiliated with the 12 Kizuki, holding the position of upper rank
So where was
3.
Kokoshibo?
In the past, Akaza's name was Hakuji. He was born and raised in the slums to a stickly father whom he loved deeply. In order to pay for medicine, Hakuji pickpocketed
the 3 pickpocket tattoo lines now.
From people in town, but was caught
Next time
3
I'll cut
times.
off your
The
wrist.
magistrate beat
Go ahead and cut them off. Then you cut them off, and I'll stab my feet, and I'll pickpocket with those. Either way, you're not getting me.
him and marked him with tattoos, threatening to cut off his arms the next time he was caught,
Crazy.
and calling him a demon child. When Hakuji returned home after his 3rd beating, a villager informed him that his father, having heard of his arrest, hung himself. In the letter he left, he stated he wanted Hakuji to live a full life and didn't want to take medicine if it was earned by dishonest means.
Wow.
With his criminal tattoos
Your tattoos say you're
and no home to return to,
was too late.
Hakuji was eventually banished from Edo. He eventually met a man named Keizo, the owner of a local dojo. Keizo then took him in so he could nurse Koyuki,
Okay.
Keizo's sickly daughter. One day, Keizo offered to let Hakuji take over the dojo and take Koyuki as his bride, to Hakuji's surprise and embarrassment. He agreed, silently vowing to protect both of them, even at the cost of his own life. Hakuji went to visit his father's grave to inform him of his marriage, but quickly realized something was amiss upon his return. A student from the dojo informed him that the rival dojo had poisoned the well where Koyuki and Keizo drank water from. The 2 died
so
shortly
they both died.
after
Wow.
drinking that water while Hakuji had been away. Enraged, Hakuji killed all 67 members of the rivaling dojo with his bare hands, pulverizing them to the point where their corpses were no longer
Not only were almost all of the corpses mangled to the point where they lost their original forms, there were countless missing body parts. It was literally a scene from hell, as chins, brains, eyeballs, and limbs were strewn all over the ceiling walls.
This incident caught Muzan Kibutsuji's attention, and though he was disappointed to find that it had been a human rather than a demon who'd done such a gruesome act, he decided to make Hakuji one of the 12
I was thinking about creating 12 strong demons and can withstand the amount of blood I'll give to you now. He threw his hand through his head.
Kizuki. Hakuji, with nothing left to protect and having lost his will to
I just
live,
don't care anymore.
accepts and becomes the demon Akaza. After
I became a demon. I lost my memory. I was one in strength
transforming,
once
he
again.
lost his memories of the time he was a human, with only a desire to become stronger, despite not knowing the reason why he wanted to become strong. Akaza appears shortly after the Demon Slayers have defeated Enmu
That's
and rescued
crazy.
the passengers. Noticing a downed Tanjiro, he immediately rushes forward to kill him, when Kyojuro stops the attack and slices his arm in half. He attempts to persuade him to become a demon. He states that, as a human, he would eventually become old and die, whereas as a demon, he could continue to become more powerful. Akaza and Kyojuro battle fiercely, with Tanjiro and Inosuke looking from a distance, both knowing the two are on a completely different level of power.
Facts.
Akaza starts to make contact with his attacks, severely injuring the Hashira. All of Kyojuro's sword blows are futile with the demon's rapid healing abilities, and he starts to become desperate with multiple flame-breathing attacks. Akaza suddenly backs away, allowing Kyojuro to catch his breath, only for Tanjiro and Inosuke to see him bleeding profusely, in contrast to a completely fine and healed Akaza.
Yep.
Kyojuro's body suddenly becomes engulfed in fire, declaring he will fulfill his duty as a Hashira, to the demon's confusion and wonder. They hit each other, with Kyojuro slicing Akaza's arm, torso, and almost through his neck, and Akaza driving his arm through Rengoku's solar plexus.
Turn Buddy into a donut.
The sun begins to
Nasty
rise,
business.
and Akaza attempts to flee, but is held in place by Kyojuro refusing to surrender. Tanjiro and Inosuke attempt to aid Hashira, Inosuke using his beast breathing to attack the demon. Akaza suddenly rips off his own arms from Kyojuro's body and stomps the ground, creating a shockwave to knock Inosuke away and give himself the chance to flee. Akaza reports back to Muzan that he killed one of the Hashiras, but Muzan retorts,
It's only a pillar. What am I to say now that you dealt with him? It's only natural that a demon defeat
it was
humans.
only one Hashira, and declares his desire is for all to be dead.
Yep.
Angered at his failure, Muzan takes control of Akaza's cells and causes him to bleed heavily. In the Infinity Castle, Akaza ambushes Tanjiro and Gyu. The fight between the three begins. As Akaza advances, Tanjiro dodges his punch and uses the Hinokami Kagura on Akaza, and with considerable effort, severs the upper rank's arm.
Crazy.
Gyu enters the fight, immediately using the water breathing. Akaza is instantly impressed,
The water pillar. It's been around 50 years since I last ran into
as it
one.
had been 50 years since he ran into someone as good as Gyu. After a long battle between the three, Akaza admits defeat, stating that Tanjiro's technique was magnificent and that he wants to go to hell like a man. He imagines his father and Keizo, but when he remembers Muzan asking if he wanted to get stronger, he begins to regenerate. He is stopped by Koyuki, thankful about Hakuji recovering his memories and thanking him for what he had done. Finally finding peace, Akaza disintegrates, dying as Hakuji, a loyal son a protective student, and a faithful lover.
Aww.
Number 2, Doma.
He deserved it. I
Doma
forgot about
is one
Doma.
of the strongest demons in 12.
What's buff? Buff is cool and rad, and you can get a bunch of free stuff. Let me explain. Do some damage, gain some points, kill these guys.
Of Kizuki, being the upper rank 2. When he was a human child, because of his beautiful rainbow-colored eyes and pure white hair, Doma was seen as a supernatural being since birth and is groomed into the religious leader of the Paradise Faith cult.
Crazy. In the beginning, I found a huge crowd of people worshiping and respecting me problematic. I mean, these adults were telling a crying child their pains, miseries, and asking for advice. I was worried that if they were actually going to be okay.
A position he maintains to the present day. At 20 years old, he met Muzan Kibutsuji,
That's the reason I was born after all.
who transformed him into a demon. At the gathering of the upper ranks, Doma questioned Akaza's lack of concern for him, placing a hand on his colleague's shoulder. He expressed his worry for his comrade's safety, and irritated Akaza tells Doma to move his hand, punching him when he didn't immediately comply, regenerating the damage almost instantly.
Nice punch. Did you get a little stronger since we last
Doma
met?
complimented his fellow upper rank, wondering if he had gotten stronger since their last meeting.
That's crazy.
Soon
But he was born looking like a demon, so people just worshipped him. Nice.
After, Muzan arrived, and upper rank 2 listened as his leader reported Gyutaro's death. Later, inside the Infinity Castle, as he is consuming a group of his female disciples, Doma notices Shinobu at
She looks so fine and delicious. I have to thank
the
them.
entrance to his room.
Okay.
He reacts with delight at having another meal walk right into his room. Shinobu notices a pair of sharp fans that Doma uses as his main weapon, and angrily inquires if he remembers the Haori that originally belonged to his elder
Anything bothering me, you're the one who killed my sister, right?
sister. Doma finally remembers her by the butterfly wing design Haori that Kane once wore, and playfully expresses
Actually, let me make sure. Okay. Bet. Hold on.
his disappointment at not being able to eat Kane due to the sun rising. The insect Hashira swiftly launches an attack at him, using her insect breathing to inflict a powerful stab directly in Doma's right eyeball,
So he's poisoned now.
which impresses him since he
That was a nice stab. I couldn't stop it with my hands. And she has poison.
couldn't
so
block
he's-
it. She tries to poison
Yeah.
him, but learns that Doma already knew about her poison.
Oh,
She is further
never mind.
backed into a corner due to Doma now rapidly developing antibodies and adjusting his body against her poison.
Oh man, it's so much fun. Getting attacked with poison is totally interesting. I might actually like it. Hey, do you think your next mix
So that
will work on
after
me?
a
Give
mere
it a
5
shot.
slashes and
Crazy.
injections of poison, he is now resistant to it entirely. Putting all her hopes on injecting a large dose to kill him by using a 6-stab attack, Shinobu attacks him using insect breathing and successfully hits him. However, as she attacks him, he simultaneously attacks her, cutting both her collarbone and ribs and puncturing one of her lungs.
Jeez.
Shinobu is caught by Doma as they fell down from the ceiling. He embraces her in a bear hug and begins mocking her and calling
You
her
worked
entire
so
attempt
hard.
to defeat him a waste of effort, assuring her she will live peacefully as a part of him and mockingly asking her for her last words. She spitefully curses him as he begins to kill her. Doma successfully kills and eats the Hashira, just as her disciple Kanao arrives at the scene. Kanao, enraged, launches her flower breathing at Doma, which he avoids with ease, smiling and commenting on how pretty her attack is. Inosuke breaks through the ceiling of the room, protecting Kanao from Doma's attack with his beast breathing. During the battle
Apparently, yeah. She was poisoned or something. Enough poison to kill him when he ate her.
between Doma and 2 demon slayers, Doma's face suddenly begins to melt. He drops to the floor, one of his arms snapping off, and his crystal children begin to crack and disintegrate as he wonders what's happening. Inosuke asks if it's a trap, but Kanao, having been informed prior to the battle of Shinobu's plan to kill Doma, tells him that it isn't, and that the demon is being melted
Even if the poison hypothetically starts working, you cannot let your guard down. The only certain way to kill him is to
by the
sever his
poison
neck.
Shinobu had in her body when he consumed her. As his head falls to the floor, Doma thinks about how pathetic he must be to have lost to a poisoner like Shinobu, someone who didn't even have the strength to kill a demon
Facts. I will definitely weaken the demon, so deal the finishing blow and slice his head off.
by cutting its
Crazy.
head. Number 1. Kokushibo. Kokushibo is by far the strongest Upper Moon demon ever,
Facts.
holding the position of Upper Moon rank 1.
And he is, what's his name's brother? The guy who taught Tanjiro's father the Hinokami dance. The first fire-breathing Hashira. That's his brother.
Over 4 centuries ago, Kokushibu was a human by the name of Muchikatsu Sugikuni, a former demon slayer and the twin brother of Yorichi Sugikuni.
yeah.
Because of Yorichi's birthmark, he was doomed to be sent to the temple and become a priest upon turning 10, while Michikatsu would become head of the house. One day, while Michikatsu was practicing with sword, one of their father's men offered to give Yorichi some instruction as well. Though he only showed Yorichi a basic stance, the boy was able to land 4 blows on the man. This incident bewildered Michikatsu, who had never before landed a blow, and he begged his brother to teach him his secret. As Michikatsu studied the sword, he felt envious of his brother.
He looked so swaggy.
Who he felt was squandering his natural physical talent. He also feared that, now that their father likely knew about Yorichi's immense potential, their roles would be swapped, and he would be the one sent to the temple in Yorichi's place. Yorichi recognized this as well and left for the temple before his father could make him a successor. His jealousy of his brother only grew when he read his mother's diary following her death, which revealed that Yorichi had known everything about their mother's illness and had planned accordingly. From then, Michikatsu resented Yorichi, who he realized to be not only physically gifted, but a genius as well.
Yeah.
He wished for his brother's death, and for the next few years, not hearing anything from him, he believed it to be true. 10 years later, Michikatsu became a samurai and married a woman who gave birth to 2 of his children. One night, a demon attacked his camp and left him the only survivor, but was quickly killed by Yorichi, who came to his rescue and apologized for not being able to save his subordinates. Seeing the object of his hatred again and twisted by jealousy, Michikatsu abandoned his family and became a demon slayer to train with Yorichi. Frustrated for being unable to surpass his brother, as well as fearing the fated death of those who awakened their demon slayer
Look at Rengoku's father.
marks, Michikatsu was persuaded by Muzan Kibutsuji and became a demon, taking the name Kokushibu. 60 years after becoming a demon,
I seen this. This was crazy. Oh, I read this.
he came face to face with Yorichi for the last time.
And he was about to die, but his body gave out.
Wanting to forget his human past, he knew he had to kill his younger brother. Enraged by the feeling of inferiority, he slashed Yorichi's body in half, but inadvertently broke the flute he gave him as a child. Seeing that his brother still thought highly of him even after his transformation, Kokushibu couldn't help but shed a tear. Unable to truly sever his bond with his brother, he decided to keep the flute for himself. Inside Infinity Castle, Kokushibu encounters Mist Hashira, Muichiro Tokito. He then deduces that Muichiro is a descendant of a child he left behind after becoming a demon.
Crazy.
The two engage in battle, but Muichiro is easily defeated by Kokushibu, who offers him to become a demon.
My
This
descendant.
discussion is, however, interrupted by Genya shooting his Nichiren gun. Kokushibu effortlessly avoids the gunshot, appearing behind Genya and then proceeding to cut off both his arms and his torso in half. As he goes to finish him off, Genya's older brother, Sanemi, appears, stopping the
That looks so painful. Look at him.
upper moon. Sanemi and Kokushibu then begin their intense duel, with Kokushibu being slightly taken aback at the skill of the Wind Hashira.
And he had
After some
rage.
struggling,
Not bad. I see that your physical body and techniques. All right,
Kokushibu shows glee at the opportunity to fight such a skilled Hashira. He was about to deal a finishing to Sanemi, but was stopped by the arrival of Gyome.
I want to see what that move said. It looked fire.
After some struggling, Kokushibu shows glee at the opportunity to fight such a skilled Hashira. He was about
Breath of the Moon, 6 forms. Solarity, Moon, and their eternal night of it. That's hard.
to deal a finishing to Sanemi, but was stopped by the arrival
We, the demon hunter, are eternal permanence until every last demon is exterminated from the world. The strongest man of the demon hunter
Gyome, the
rise.
stone Hashira. Kokushibu was unable to retain himself, openly stating that he admired Gyome's peak physical form. Following an intense back and forth battle, Gyome reveals his trump card he meant to save for Muzan,
The marks appear.
his Demon Slayer mark. The battle then begins to pick up. Kokushibu's attacks increase with both intensity and frequency. He is able to sever 2 of Sanemi's fingers, and both Demon Slayers are reduced to putting
That's such a hard looking move. Misfortune, mirror, lunar
all of
shine.
their efforts into simply avoiding his attacks. Right as it seemed that Sanemi is about to lose, Muichiro rejoins the battle, saving the other Hashira just in time. With the combined force of 3 Hashiras, they finally managed to defeat Kokushibu for good. If you're interested in more Demon Slayer content, click on this video where we explain all former and current Hashira.
Well, that was the video. If you enjoyed it, like, comment, subscribe. It helps out a lot. Trying to 25K across the board. Let me know in the comments down below if you want to see the 12 Hashiras explained as well. That was a very informative video. Let me know down below as well who is your favorite demon in this reaction. But that was your boy Kana. Until next time, peace.